The air crackles with an energy we haven't felt in years. This isn't just another NBA Finals, this is a revolution. Forget the dynasties of old, the familiar faces and predictable narratives that have dominated the league for so long. The 2025 NBA Finals are a breath of fresh, exhilarating air, a clash between two teams that have torn up the script and rewritten their own destinies. The Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder have arrived, not by accident, but through brilliant team building, unwavering belief, and the sheer force of will of their young, electrifying superstars. This is more than a battle for a championship. It's a signal of a seismic shift in the NBA's landscape, a promise of a new era. The excitement is palpable in every city, in every sports bar, and across every social media feed. Fans are buzzing with a different kind of anticipation. This series feels like a throwback to a time when anything was possible, when underdog stories weren't just feel-good movies, but real-life sagas unfolding on the hardwood. The Pacers and Thunder represent the triumph of process over immediate gratification, of scouting and development over big-market free agent splashes. They are a testament to the idea that a championship can be grown, not just bought. The league is watching, the world is watching, as these two hungry franchises step into the brightest spotlight, ready to prove they belong. This matchup is a beautiful study in contrasts, yet both teams share a common, unyielding hunger. In one corner you have the Indiana Pacers, an offensive juggernaut that plays with a joyful, breakneck pace, led by the brilliant court maestro Tyrese Haliburton. In the other, the Oklahoma City Thunder, a defensive powerhouse built on length, versatility, and the impossibly smooth scoring of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Both teams are young, both are disciplined, and neither has tasted championship glory in their current form. This isn't just a series, it's a coronation. One city, one team, one group of players will etch their names into history forever. As the series tipped off, the sense of occasion was almost overwhelming. The weight of history, the dreams of two starved fan bases, and the future of the league all converged on one court. This is the basketball we've been waiting for. It's unpredictable, it's thrilling, and it's deeply meaningful. Every possession feels monumental, every shot carries the weight of a franchise's hopes. This isn't just basketball, it's history in the making, unfolding before our very eyes. The old guard has passed the torch and a new generation is ready to run with it, all the way to the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Game 1 was a masterpiece of chaos, a symphony of momentum swings that left everyone breathless. For 47 minutes and 55 seconds, it looked like the Thunder's night. Their suffocating defense had disrupted Indiana's rhythm, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a walking bucket, dissecting the Pacers' defense with surgical precision. The Thunder had built a seemingly insurmountable lead, quieting the raucous Indianapolis crowd and asserting their dominance on the road. They played with the poise of a veteran team, not a group of young stars on their first trip to the finals. Everything was going according to their plan. The stage was set for a decisive opening statement. But then, the final 5 seconds happened. With the Pacers down by 2, the ball found its way into the hands of Tyrese Haliburton. This is the moment superstars are made for, the crucible where legacies are forged. The Thunder defense, so impenetrable all night, converged on him. Jalen Williams and Lou Dort swarmed, creating a wall of arms and bodies. But Haliburton, ever the magician, saw an opening that no one else did. He created a sliver of space with a step-back dribble, rose up from just beyond the three-point line and let it fly. The world seemed to stop as the ball arced through the air. The swish of the net was deafening. The roar from the crowd was primal. Haliburton had done it. He had snatched victory from the jaws of defeat with a cold-blooded three-pointer that will be replayed for decades. It wasn't just a game winner, it was a statement. It was Haliburton declaring his arrival on the NBA's biggest stage. The final score read Pacers 121, Thunder 120. Indiana had stolen Game 1 in a stunning, heart-stopping fashion. The comeback, capped by that iconic shot, instantly became one of the most dramatic finishes in NBA Finals history, a moment that completely flipped the narrative of the series on its head. The performance was more than just the final shot. Haliburton finished the game with 38 points and a finals record 17 assists, a statistical marvel that underscored his complete command of the game. He controlled the tempo, he found open teammates with dazzling passes, and when his team needed him most, he took and made the biggest shot of his life. The Thunder were left in stunned silence, their brilliant game plan undone by a single moment of magic. The Pacers, meanwhile, were euphoric. They had survived, they had won, and they had drawn first blood in what was already shaping up to be an unforgettable series. If Game 1 was about heartbreak for Oklahoma City, Game 2 was about vengeance. Great teams don't just lose, they respond. And the Thunder responded with the force of a prairie thunderstorm. From the opening tip, there was a different energy about them. Their focus was sharper, their intensity was higher, and their execution was flawless. They were not going to be denied again. Led by a determined Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, OKC came out with a point to prove. They systematically dismantled the Pacers, turning a potential 0-2 deficit into a powerful statement that this series was far from over. This was a champion's response. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was simply transcendent. After the gut-wrenching loss in Game 1, he played with a quiet fury, a burning desire to even the score. He was unstoppable. He poured in 45 points, setting a new Thunder franchise record for a finals game. He scored from all three levels, weaving through the lane for acrobatic layups, pulling up for silky mid-range jumpers, and knocking down timely threes. It was a historic performance, a masterclass in offensive basketball that left the Pacers' defense completely helpless. SGA wasn't just scoring, he was sending a message to the entire league that he is one of the game's truly elite players. But this was no one-man show. The Thunder's victory was a total team effort, a showcase of the incredible depth that general manager Sam Presti has assembled. Chet Holmgren was a defensive anchor, altering shots at the rim and controlling the paint with his unique blend of size and skill. Jalen Williams, the J-Dub, was a perfect co-star, contributing with timely scoring, tough defense, and high-energy plays that fueled the team's momentum. Even role players like Lou Dort and Isaiah Joe made huge contributions, with Dort's lockdown defense on Halliburton and Joe's clutch shooting stretching the floor and keeping the Pacers off balance. The final score of 115-95 didn't even do justice to the Thunder's dominance. They controlled the game from start to finish, winning every quarter and never allowing the Pacers to get into their free-flowing offensive rhythm. They turned Indiana's strength into a weakness, forcing turnovers and converting them into easy points in transition. It was a defensive clinic and an offensive explosion all wrapped into one. As the series shifts to Oklahoma City tied 1-1, the Thunder have reclaimed all the momentum. They proved that the magic of Game 1 was just one moment, and that this finals will be a long, hard-fought war. This championship series is more than just a collection of games, it's a landmark event for the NBA. For the first time in over a decade, we are guaranteed a first-time champion, a fresh face on the Mount Rushmore of title winners. Neither the Pacers nor the Thunder have lifted the Larry O'Brien Trophy in their current iterations, and that sense of novelty is invigorating. It breaks the cycle of dynasty-driven narratives and opens the door for a new story to be written. This isn't LeBron versus Curry or Celtics versus Lakers. This is Halliburton versus SGA, Pacers versus Thunder. It's new, it's different, and it's exactly what basketball needed. The significance of this matchup runs even deeper. It's a finals for the so-called small markets. Indianapolis and Oklahoma City are not the glamour destinations of Los Angeles or Miami. They are basketball-crazed cities that live and breathe for their teams, and their presence on this stage is a victory for every fan in every city that has ever felt overlooked. It proves that with smart drafting, player development, and a strong organizational culture, you don't need to be on the coast to build a champion. This series is a beacon of hope for franchises like the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, and the Kings, showing them that a path to the top truly exists. This finals also represents the official coronation of a new generation of superstars. Tyrese Halliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are not just the faces of their franchises, they are the future of the league. They play the game with a unique flair and intelligence that is captivating to watch. They are leaders who have elevated their entire organizations. Alongside them, players like Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner are all stepping into the spotlight, proving that the league is in incredibly capable hands. We are witnessing the birth of new rivalries and new legacies that will define the NBA for the next decade. Ultimately, what makes this finals so special is the sense of pure, unadulterated competition. There are no asterisks, no super teams formed overnight. These are two organically grown rosters, built through the draft and savvy trades that have earned their way here. Every player has a story, every player has a chip on their shoulder. It's a battle of styles, a battle of philosophies, and a battle of two teams who believe it is their time. This series feels earned, not given. It's a celebration of basketball in its purest form, and it's creating a historic and unforgettable chapter in the annals of the NBA. The journeys of the Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder to the 2025 NBA Finals are a fascinating case study in modern team building. Both franchises arrived at this peak through patience and shrewd management, but they took distinctly different roads to get here. The Thunder's path was one of radical reconstruction. General manager Sam Presti made the difficult, often unpopular decision to trade away superstars Paul George and Russell Westbrook, embarking on a full-scale rebuild. He stockpiled an unprecedented war chest of draft picks, turning the Thunder into a factory for young talent and future assets. It was a long-term vision that required immense faith and patience from the organization and its fan base. This strategy of asset maximization allowed the Thunder to build their current powerhouse from the ground up. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, acquired in the Paul George trade, became the cornerstone. They then used their draft capital to select foundational pieces like Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. They prioritized players with high basketball IQ, positional versatility, and strong character. The result is a young, cohesive unit that has grown together, learned how to win together, and now finds itself on the cusp of a championship. The Thunder model is a masterclass in drafting, development, and long-term strategic planning, proving that a painful teardown can lead to a glorious rebirth. The Indiana Pacers, on the other hand, chose a different route, the strategic retool. Instead of a complete teardown, President of Basketball Operations Kevin Pritchard made a series of bold, calculated moves to reshape the roster around a new identity. The franchise-altering moment came when they traded all-star Domantas Sabonis to the Sacramento Kings for Tyrese Haliburton. It was a gamble, trading a proven star for a young point guard with incredible potential. That single move set the course for everything that followed. The Pacers decided to build a team that mirrored Haliburton's style: fast, unselfish, and relentlessly efficient on offense. From there, Indiana built methodically. They re-signed Miles Turner, a perfect floor-spacing center to pair with Haliburton's playmaking. They made the savvy mid-season acquisition of Pascal Siakam, a championship-tested veteran forward who provided a much-needed secondary scoring punch and defensive presence. They drafted wisely, finding key contributors like Benedict Mathurin and Andrew Nembhard. The Pacers' approach was less about accumulating assets and more about finding the perfect synergistic pieces to create a specific style of play. Their journey shows that a team can pivot and rebuild its identity on the fly, transforming into a contender without ever hitting rock bottom. This finals is the ultimate clash of basketball philosophies, a classic battle of an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. The Indiana Pacers bring to the floor one of the most potent and high-octane offenses the league has ever seen. Their entire system is built around pace and space. Led by Tyrese Haliburton, they push the ball at every opportunity, seeking to create easy baskets in transition before the defense can get set. Their goal is simple: to outscore you. They play with a beautiful, free-flowing style that relies on constant movement, quick decisions, and elite-level shooting from all 5 positions on the floor. Indiana's offensive attack is a beautiful thing to watch. Haliburton is the engine, a pass-first point guard whose genius lies in his ability to manipulate defenses and create open looks for his teammates. He is surrounded by a cast of players perfectly suited to his style. Miles Turner pulls opposing big men out of the paint with his three-point shooting. Pascal Siakam is a dynamic scorer who can create his own shot. Wings like Benedict Mathurin and Aaron Nesmith are relentless cutters and spot-up shooters. This offensive firepower was on full display in Game 1, as they weathered the storm and ultimately outgunned the Thunder with their relentless attack. On the other side of the court stands the Oklahoma City Thunder, a defensive juggernaut built on length, athleticism, and intelligence. Head coach Mark Daigneault has crafted a scheme that is designed to disrupt and dismantle high-powered offenses like Indiana's. Their defensive identity starts with the individual brilliance of players like Lu Dort, one of the premier perimeter defenders in the league, who has the unenviable task of trying to slow down Haliburton. But their strength lies in their collective versatility. They switch seamlessly, they communicate flawlessly, and they protect the rim with ferocity, thanks in large part to the intimidating presence of Chet Holmgren. The Thunder's defensive prowess was the story of Game 2. They successfully turned the game into a gritty, half-court affair, taking the Pacers out of their comfort zone. They forced turnovers, contested every shot, and made Indiana's offense look pedestrian for the first time all postseason. Players like Jalen Williams and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander used their length to disrupt passing lanes, creating deflections and steals that fuel their own transition offense. This series is a fascinating tactical chess match. Can Indiana's historic offense solve the puzzle of OKC's suffocating defense? The team that can impose its will and dictate the style of play will be the one lifting the trophy. As this thrilling series heads to Oklahoma City tied at 1 game apiece, it has effectively become a best-of-5. The championship hangs in the balance, and the margin for error is now non-existent. For the Indiana Pacers to reclaim control and ultimately win the title, they must find a way to consistently solve the Thunder's defense. This means Tyrese Haliburton needs to be more than just a brilliant passer. He must remain an aggressive scorer, forcing the defense to respect his shot and opening up lanes for his teammates. Furthermore, The Pacers' supporting cast, particularly Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner, must step up and provide consistent secondary scoring to take the pressure off their young star. Defensively, Indiana has to find an answer for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They cannot allow him to have another 45-point explosion. This will require a disciplined team effort, with multiple defenders making him work for every single point. They must be better in transition defense and limit the number of easy baskets the Thunder get off turnovers. The key for the Pacers is to play their game. They need to push the pace, move the ball, and trust in the offensive system that got them to this point. If they can turn the remaining games into high-scoring track meets, they give themselves the best possible chance to win. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, the path to their first championship is paved with defense. They must continue to impose their will on that end of the floor, making every possession a grind for the Pacers. Lou Dort's on-ball pressure on Haliburton and Chet Holmgren's rim protection are the two most critical factors. If they can continue to disrupt Indiana's offensive flow and force them into a half-court game, they will be in a position to win. Offensively, while SGA is their superstar, they are at their best when everyone is involved. Continued production from Jalen Williams and timely shooting from their role players will be essential. Ultimately, this series will be decided by which young team can handle the immense pressure of the final stage. It will come down to resilience, mental toughness, and which superstar can elevate his team when it matters most. Will it be Haliburton's offensive genius or SGA's unstoppable scoring? Will Indiana's pace or OKC's grit prevail? We have already witnessed historic performances and unforgettable moments. The beauty of this matchup is its unpredictability. One thing is certain, a new champion will be crowned, a new era of basketball will be cemented, and the rest of this series promises to be an incredible ride.